Bullies Drag New Teacher by Hair. Shocking true story that changed everything. Her scream was muffled by the roar of laughter. Desks crashed, a chair flew, and then silence fell, except for the scraping of her knees against the linoleum floor as they yanked her by the hair. The new teacher, the kind one with soft eyes and trembling hands, was being dragged like a rag doll across her own classroom by the very students she came to teach. Blood trickled from her elbow where she hit the doorframe. Someone recorded it on their phone. And just like that, her dignity was scattered across a classroom floor, trampled beneath the shoes of cruel teenagers drunk on power. No one stopped them, not even the other teachers. They said it wasn't their problem. But this moment, it changed everything. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and that even the most broken people can become someone's light, please comment, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Help us bring stories like this to life, because some truths are too important to be ignored. Her name was Miss Alina Harper, 26 years old, fresh out of teacher training. She moved to this rough inner-city school not because she needed the job, but because she believed in redemption. Her father was an addict, her mother abandoned her, and the only reason she made it through school was because one teacher, just one, believed in her when no one else did. Miss Harper wanted to be that teacher for someone else. She dreamed of turning lives around, of stepping into classrooms with love, where others brought only rules. But the school she stepped into wasn't a school, it was a battlefield. From the moment she entered the staff lounge, she felt the chill. Eyes rolled, smirks passed. Older teachers, worn down by years of chaos, whispered among themselves, "Let's see how long this one lasts." Alina didn't mind. She smiled, held her clipboard tightly, and walked into Class 9, be known by everyone as the graveyard. These were the students no one could control. Broken homes, criminal records, gang ties, and scars they didn't talk about. The moment she walked in, they sized her up like a lion does a lamb. And in many ways, she was one. At first, she tried kindness. She wrote personal notes on their essays, even when they were just empty pages. She brought breakfast bars for the girl who always came in hungry. She offered to stay after class with the boy who had fallen behind. They didn't trust her. Worse, they mocked her, called her names, drew cruel things on the whiteboard when she turned her back. But Alina kept going. She believed patience would win them over. But it wasn't patience they were looking for. It was weakness. Things escalated slowly. Someone tripped her in the hallway. Another time, a note was taped to her back that read, "I'm a joke." She found it hours later.
Ow!
One of the boys, tall and cold-eyed, stared at her every time she walked past, as if daring her to make eye contact.
God.
He was known as Zane 17, already on probation, and the unspoken leader of the group. What Zane decided, the others followed. And Zane, he decided Miss Harper needed to be broken. One day, she walked in to find her desk turned over, her notes missing, and her chair soaked with something sticky. The whole class erupted in laughter. Alina stood frozen for a second, then calmly picked up her chair, flipped it over, wiped it down with her scarf, and sat, her voice shaking but steady as she began the lesson anyway. That day, she went home and cried in her car for an hour before going inside, but she didn't quit. The principal did nothing. When she showed him footage of the vandalism, he sighed. "You can't expel all of them, Alina. Just do your best." That was the culture. Survive or leave. Most teachers chose to leave. But Alina, she stayed, because she saw something. Beneath the tough exteriors, the slouched postures, and the razor blade jokes, she saw children, hurt ones, and in one girl named Tasha, she saw herself. Tasha was quiet, with deep eyes and burn marks on her arms she never explained. She rarely spoke, but she watched everything. When others laughed at Alina, Tasha didn't, and Alina noticed. She began leaving small notes on Tasha's desk. "You're stronger than you think. I believe in you. You matter." Tasha never responded. But one morning, she came to class before anyone else, handed Alina a paper folded 4 times, and walked away. Inside it were 3 words. "Thank you, miss." Alina kept that note in her pocket every day. It reminded her that she was Zunti fighting for a classroom. She was fighting for someone's future. But Zane noticed the connection, and it didn't sit well with him. Control was everything to Zane. and he sensed that Alina was beginning to loosen his grip on the class. It happened on a Friday. Rain outside. Half the class absent. A substitute teacher in the next room. No cameras working. Zane entered late, his face tight with something dark. He walked straight up to Alina's desk, stared at her, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "You think you're better than us? You think you're changing anything?" Before she could respond, he grabbed her wrist, pulled her forward. The class gasped, but no one moved, his hand tangled in her hair. In one brutal motion, he dragged her from her chair to the floor. Her scream tore through the air. Someone laughed. Someone else filmed it, but most just watched, paralyzed by fear or thrill. Alina's knees slammed the floor. Zane dragged her to the door like a trophy bee for finally letting go and spitting the words, "Get out." She didn't fight back. She didn't scream. She just stood, knees bleeding, hair disheveled, chest heaving, and looked into every eye in that room. And then she walked out. The video hit the internet within an hour, but instead of shame, came outrage. Not just from the school, but from around the world. Thousands of comments. Teachers, mothers, former students, everyone horrified, everyone angry. And for once, the administration couldn't sweep it under the rug. Zane was arrested. His mother wept on television, saying, "I didn't know. Thought he was just angry." In the school, it was forced to change. But more than that, Alina came back. She returned not with police, not with anger, but with resolve. Tasha was the first to stand when she entered. Then another student, then another. The classroom fell silent as Miss Harper walked to the board, wrote in calm white letters, "I'm not here to control you. I'm here to believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself." The weeks that followed were slow, raw, and full of hard lessons. Some students transferred. Some stayed angry, but many began to change. Tasha began writing poetry. Another boy who used to throw chairs joined the debate team. Alina didn't save them all, but she saved enough, and the one who filmed the incident. He later became a youth counselor because he never forgot the look on her face as she stood back up. If this story touched your heart, if you believe that one person's courage can light the way for others, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. These stories deserve to be seen, not for the pain, but for the hope they awaken. Special request. Comment below with the words, "Hope wins." If you believe no one should ever suffer in silence,